obviously this is personal and it's deep, but I've also gotten to the stage where I feel it's very important for me to own my story and to be authentic about where I've come from and where I am now.
When I was in my late teens and early 20s, I had a really troubled youth and young adulthood.
You know, I realized that there were people that perhaps didn't see any value in me being in this country and didn't see any value sometimes in my existence.
One of the biggest challenges I had in my life was tied to September 11th.
Because quite often people look at us as coaches and we think, right, we must have all our ducks in a row, things must be great, we're able to coach ourselves all the time, and everyone's got a story, everybody's got that past happening.
Hi, my name is Perovic, and I am the Director of Membership Engagement with the ICF New York City chapter. Today, I have Christine Alvarez,
Kimberly Grosher, John Sigmund,
Brendalyn King, Linda Bonner,
Michael Palumbo,
Matt Pearson, Estefania Palomino. Today, I have Peter Gorey. Tell me about a challenge that you've had in your life that contributed to making you who you are today.
So one thing that you need to know about me is that I grew up crossing borders, international borders, that is. So I grew up in a small city. It's Cucuta. It's in Colombia, and it's in the border with Venezuela.
So when I was starting out my career, the first project that I took over and ran from end to end was disaster recovery testing. We started January 1st and finished August 31st of 2001. 11 days later, we lost 2 buildings and a data center.
Growing up, I grew up in a pretty working class household, so there wasn't money to put us through college. So I worked my way through college. I actually worked my way through part of high school.
I've had a number of challenges in my life, but the one which finally made me come out of my comfort zone into the place where possibility lives is after my mother died in May 2017.
It was about 10 years ago when I was diagnosed with submucosal uterine fibroids. And fibroids are benign cysts that can be located anywhere in the body. And in my particular case, my cyst was in an area where my body thought I was pregnant once a month. And so it led me to have terrible pain and a tremendous amount of bleeding.
The challenge that I've had in my life is not past tense, it's ongoing. I have Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease. Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease is a hereditary disease characterized by malformations of the hands and feet that are degenerative, so they get worse over time.
So from the age of about, I'd say 12, I struggled with a lot of different mental health issues, from eating disorders and depression and anxiety.
When I was in my late teens and early 20s, I had a really troubled youth and young adulthood. And what that led to was a lot of trouble with law enforcement. So it was a mess.
So I think one of the challenges that I've experienced in life is just navigating the world as a Black woman.
Because I reflected on her life from, being born in the west coast of Ireland on a farm to, passing away when she was age 73. And it was a tough life. And I took it quite badly, which surprised me because my mother had been unwell for a very long time with dementia.
I've had several reconstructions and a leg fusion, and wear orthotic leg braces on a daily basis, and use my hands are deteriorating now, so it's difficult to hold a pen or button a shirt. I don't know if you can you see my hand?
Mm-hmm.
As an example, right? So all these are the tendons, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at your hand,
mm-hmm.
you got nice flesh meat there, you don't see your tendons, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that same thing is happening on the bottoms of my feet. So it's like walking on my bones.
And so while it's been a challenge, being a Black woman is also something that I'm very proud of.
In that time period, I grew up fast. So I saw that companies is more than just a business, and it's more than just about money or technology or product. There was a leadership component to this where people's lives mattered.
But I think that one of the key moments inside of this diagnosis was me remembering that I didn't have to live with the fibroids. It was a very distinct thought that I had. I had been living as if I can put it in my backpack and just bring it everywhere. And it was one day I realized, oh, I have choice.
And when I first moved to the US, and this was less than 10 years ago, I think the public discourse around immigration was different. You know, there was a sense of, you know, there's this human dignity and these human rights that, you know, we have to relate to immigration. And there's certain lines that we shouldn't cross, right? And I feel like, unfortunately, I saw, and this was a big challenge for me, I saw that public discourse around immigration and immigrants changing before my eyes.
It took me a long time, and I'm talking like maybe 15 years, I'd say, to actually put my hands up and say, I need help, I'm really struggling with this. But it got to the stage where just like enough was enough. You know, I just wasn't coping and had lost so many wonderful relationships in my life.
I think just really learning to embrace my identity and who I am and take pride in it and create opportunities and engage in environments that really allow me to be myself and support me. And so that's why I'm passionate about helping other Black professional women kind of create spaces and opportunities for them where they can be themselves, advance, take care of themselves, and know that they are valued despite what society says.
And it made me genius in how to figure out to get things for myself. So I came to rely pretty much on myself when I needed something done.
I learned so much from that personally and professionally, and overcoming that challenge and the road to recovery, not only on the business side, but also just personally. That's one of the biggest challenges. So I know that if I can overcome that, I can get through anything, and so can my clients.
How it's contributed to making me me is I have learned over the course of a lifetime to be able to laugh at myself for things that other people might find frustrating or annoying. It's also given me a great deal of patience. And so I think that challenge that I face every day contributes to who I am as a person. So I never think of it as a challenge. I always think of it as an opportunity.
But what that did for me, you know, on the other side of all that was help me develop a much stronger sense of empathy for others and what they go through and what their plights are. It's also the belief and the knowledge that no matter what someone's circumstances are, regardless of how I may see it, that people have infinite capacity to endure change and infinite capability to change.
For me, and what really helped me get through, you know, this particular challenge was finding a sense of community, and finding that even though I was hearing that, you know, in the news, I was hearing that from certain folks out there in the world, I was still surrounded by wonderful people who were working and who are still working to make the world a better, more inclusive, more diverse place.
What it made me realize is that you have to seize the day. You have to do something for yourself which is positive and to enjoy life to the full, because there's no point living life with regrets.